recorded. So I'm going to hit the record button right now, and it will be posted tomorrow to all of our region pages. I'm Keyshawn Graves, and I'm so excited to kick off our weekly region training calls throughout the rest of the year tonight with two of the absolute very best, classiest, talented, intelligent, stylish leaders in Beachbody world. We have the founders of Diesel Nation right here joining us tonight. And these two together have achieved so much, from multi-stars to multi-year elite. They've both molded multiple star diamonds and team leaders and beyond, million club members. Most importantly, though, balancing it all by being great moms and wives and sisters and friends. These two will absolutely positively be giving us the goods tonight. They're going to inspire and encourage us to finish this year strong and relentlessly as you envisioned it or pretty close to it, regardless of where you may be at this very moment right now. We're also going to be opening up the floor for questions, so do not sit in silence. If you have a question, let this moment right now be your sign that this call was meant for you to ask it. There are no stupid questions when it comes to asking two of the very best. How? That is your moment to get exactly what you need to get from tonight. So take advantage of it and get your questions ready now. All right, everybody, take a deep breath. Time to clear your mind. Open your heart to learn and grow. Let go of the day for the next 30 minutes. And let's do this. Becky, Kristina, are you on? And are you ready to rock our world?
I don't know about you, but if you're not fired up right now, you're like judge. You give the best introductions ever.
Thank you.
But we're ready to rock. Becky and I are ready. It's such an honor to talk to you guys. Hopefully, whoa, I'm big on the screen now. It is really such an honor to talk to you guys. The achievement of elite and premier and all of that jazz is something that Becky and I have always made a priority in our business. It's always something that we work towards every single year, and super proud that this will be our 5th year as elite coaches, and we are set to have record numbers of elite coaches on our team. And what's really exciting is that I see a bunch of our coaches, and I had to switch because I can't just stare at myself. Do you see it now switched to the panel view? No? You still see my face big? Okay, well, good, because I like seeing everybody's face and not just me. That I see a lot of our girls and guy on this call who are pushing for elite, so I'm like super, super duper excited about that. But we did a call last year, in fact, almost to the day, on what we're going to talk about tonight. And we reviewed our notes and we reviewed the call from a year ago. And it's so crazy to me that the advice we're going to give tonight has not changed. This is it, the hitting and achievement of elite is something that the activities will always remain the same. Obviously, if the elite program changes, then we'll shift gears then. But right now, and for the last 5 years of our business that we've been elite coaches, the activities remain the same. And that's something that is so, to me, it's so, it's awesome, right? Because you know what to expect. And when you know what to expect, you know what to do, and you know how to react, and you know how to make things happen, right? So year in, year out, it has remained the same. So if you're on this call, there's probably 3 types of you on this call. There's 3 types of coaches that are listening in. The first coach is the one that mathematically is locked into elite or are just about to lock into elite, and you pretty much have your diamonds almost in place, right? We have some of those on this call. The second kind of coach is the coach that right now, mathematically, it cannot happen for you this year. Perhaps you were one that set the goal late in the year or started focusing on elite a little bit too late and didn't have the right people in place at the time. And this year it's not going to happen, but next year it sure as hell will happen, right? So that's the second kind of coach. And then the third kind of coach is the one that that needs a swift kick in the pants right now, because you are so close to elite, and all you need to do is turn that frown freaking upside down, get your mind right, and make shit happen so that you end 2016 as an elite coach. And yes, I'm talking to all these Diesel Nation coaches that are staring back at me, that are like, wah, wah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Yes, it can. And when you have that kind of mentality and that kind of work ethic, then you sure as hell will wake up every single day and act like an elite coach and do the activities of an elite coach, so that when the clock strikes midnight on December 31st, 2016, you can claim elite for yourself and for your team, right? But regardless if you're number 1, number 2, or number 3, it doesn't matter. Why? Because what you're doing right now counts tremendously. So even if it's not in the cards for you in 2016, the worst thing that you can do right now is turn your energy down, turn your focus away from recruiting, turn your focus away from helping your team duplicate and hit Success Club, because all the work that you've done in 2015, this is one of those gut check moments, right? All of the work, what work have you been doing in 2016 is going, and I'm getting a lot of feedback. Is it me? It looks like, it sounds like it's me. All the work that you've been doing in 2016 is going to help you and catapult you to an elite team in 2017, right? So regardless of where you fall, whether you're the first coach that's got it in the bag, the second coach that can't make it happen this year just because the numbers don't add up, or the third coach that right now is very close and just needs to get their mindset right, all of the work that you're doing now is going to count, whether it's this year or next year. So it's just time to step on the gas instead of step away from the gas and make it happen. So Becky and I have a few tips that we wanted to share quickly, so that we can open it up at the end for questions. So I'm going to turn it over to my sister so she can take over now.
All right, guys. So based on, regardless of the 3 categories or where you may stand with the business at this point, you have to make a decision tonight. And I don't want to look at myself either. Okay. You have to make a decision tonight. I believe that all the success that I've had and all the success, and I'm speaking for my sister, but the success she has, it all stems from the fact that we believed and we made a decision to go all in. So I'm asking you tonight, wherever you stand with Elite or Premier this year, is to decide to make the next 3 months the very best 3 months of this year, because it will set the stage for an amazing 2017. You cannot expect to show up on January 1st and all the cards be in place. You got to set them up right now. So make the decision right now to believe that this is your time to shine. One of the things, and you know, visualization and all that can sound so wishy-washy to some people, but I believe that it's true. Starting your day with intention and being positive is setting the mindset right now, especially when times are really, we got to push hard. We have to have a completely positive mindset. So, you know, wake up and don't go straight to Facebook where you're like being loaded with negative messages. You know, read a book or listen. I like YouTube videos. I just let them play and they fire me up. Prime yourself to start the day on positivity. And then visualize the goal. When I ran for 15 star last year, it was clear, a picture in my head of me and Barbie standing on stage together. And it was something that we replayed in our heads every single time we would speak. And it just felt real, and I owned it. So claim it. I want you to sit down and really feel what it's going to be like for you to walk on that stage as Elite 2016 and claim that prize and have your team standing behind you. And get clear on who it is that is part of your elite team. Know who they are and have them a really clear goal. And then write it down. You know, write your goals down. I like to write them down physically on paper. People who, Brian Tracy says that successful people who write their goals down on paper and have them somewhere they can look at them are more successful than people who just have it up here in their heads. So tonight, write it down on a piece of paper really big and hang it near your computer or your workstation. I am a 2016 elite coach. and tell yourself that every day, day in and day out, as you wake up, as you go to sleep, and own it. Believe it, your body will take action, but you have to own the positivity right now and shift the mindset from doubt to certainty, and that you can control right now. Oh, am I going? Keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just saying, I was going to use a Tony Robbins principle there, where, you know, when your physiology, your state of mind, everything, you can change it in a second, right? You're sad now, you're happy now. You know, it's all a decision that you make. So right now, if you're looking at your team and you're saying, you know, I don't believe in myself, I'm not good enough, my team's not good enough, that energy, you're projecting that, right? You're projecting that on your people. And in just 1 second, you say, enough's enough, let's get to work, everybody, let's do this. Think about how the energy in your team is going to shift right away, right? So that is what you control day in, day out. And that's what my sister Becky was saying at the very beginning is, instead of flooding your mind with negativity and opening those messages from coaches that, you know, drain the hell out of you every morning, bright and early, it's like they do it on purpose. You go to YouTube or you open up your personal development book and you set your mind straight. And then later on in the day, you can get to those messages.
Absolutely.
Okay, back to the
All right. So the next thing we want you to do is communicate with your team. Like, this elite is not something you can accomplish on your own. It's not a me goal, it's a we goal. So if you are not telling your team that this is where you're going, having a clear vision for your organization is super important, and you need to tell them what it is that you guys are striving for. I've never believed that sharing a team goal or a rank goal with your downline is selfish. I've heard some people say that. I don't think that that's selfish. I think that is being a visionary. People need to know where you're going. It's like going on vacation and not knowing how you're going to get there, or, you know, plane, train, or when you're leaving. You need to have a clear path. So talk to your people, especially your key players. Just express how this is a team goal. We are an elite team. The same example, the superstar. My superstar run, it was a we thing. It was not about me. It was about us. You know, sharing that goal together and being presented this amazing accomplishment as a team. It wasn't about me. So you need to present it as such. And remember that it's all about having business partners that align with you, that are walking side by side with you. And that's the way that you need to present it to them. It is not selfish. It is laying the groundwork for future elite coaches in your downline to see what you're doing, and they are going to take that and run with it and duplicate what you're doing. So communicate clearly with the people in your downline, the ones that are going to help you get there.
All right. One of the things I wanted to chime in on this topic, because I always get the question of, well, how do you do that, right? And it's kind of a lot easier said than done, right? Because I tell our team, like, have you told your team? Like, you need to tell your team. And then they're like, but how? I don't know. I don't know how to do that, because then they're going to think this is all about me. Okay, there's a lot of ways of doing it, and I think there's a lot of effective ways of doing it. Number one, obviously, it has to come from you. First, initially, it has to come from you, and you have to have this conversation with your team. And you have to, if you right now cannot think of what to say, write down what to you being an elite team means. What does that mean to you? Is it, is it because it's a goal of yours? Is it because you want the recognition? Is it because this is going to set the tone for your team? Is it going to show your team what's possible? Those are the things that I think of, right? When I think of hitting elite, it's showing what's possible. So if you can say it in those terms instead of me, people will understand that. And what I tend to do as well is always remind our organization, our team, that while this year it is my year to be elite, or it is my run towards elite, that next year or the year after or whatever, it's going to be their turn. And they're going to want their coaches on board with them, rallying with them to hit elite. So put them in the shoes of where you are now. And that makes the world of difference. Does that make sense? right? Tell them, okay, imagine next year you're in this position and you have 5 rockstar coaches or 6 rockstar coaches. How do you want them to act when you're pushing for elite? And that way it transfers any emotion that you have of selfishness to one of, this is really a team effort. I can't do it alone. I can't do it without you. And when you're ready to do it, you can't do it without your team. Okay. Another way that we do it is we have someone else say it, right? So a lot of times Becky will jump on a call, or I will jump on a call with the pockets of organizations in our downline, right? I've done already 2. I'm already scheduling out the next few months for Melissa's team and Jamie Hunt. I know I have a few other Diesel Nation calls that I'm scheduling so that I can communicate to their team the importance of elite and show, telling them what it's meant to me and what it's meant to Diesel Nation and what it's meant for our organization as a whole, so that they get the big picture, right? So if you have an upline coach that is an elite coach, or someone in your organization that you respect, it doesn't even have to be someone in your organization. It could be your success partner coach, or her coach, or his coach, or whatever. Ask them if they would do a call with your key players, right? To express the importance of elite. I think that works wonderfully. It's worked for us for a couple of years where we do this and we take time, and it's a call talking to 5 people, really, 5 or 6 people, but it's effective and it gets the message across. And after that, that little team that's starting to grow becomes a unified front, and they start working towards elite. All right. So I wanted to chime in on that. And then number 3, so we've done mindset. Number 2, communicate the goal. Number 3 is identify your top producers, right? The key players. Zero in on the ones that are moving and shaking in your downline, your PS coaches. And those are the ones that obviously you don't forget everybody else, but those are the ones that you are really, really, really putting your focus and effort in duplicating key activities within your downline, right? And what is that key activity? I think if we boil it down, the elite program really does focus on productivity and success club. If you can get your new coaches to produce and duplicate, then you are on the right track. One thing that's been working for us, we've said it a couple of times on different calls, are these clusters, right? These message threads. And I just wanted to share something that I've done for the last 2 months that has worked really well. And in fact, in September and October, I had my highest numbers of PS coaches hitting Success Club. And I think it has to do with just getting a little bit creative with getting them to hit this goal. So what I do is about the 5th of the month and about the 10th of the month, I'll check my drill down, right? And if I have any PS coaches that are not diamond leaders and above, right, I have another thread for them. These are my 2015 and 2016 coaches that have points on the board, right? So if they have 1 successive point or 2 successive points by like the 5th or the 10th around there, and I'm constantly monitoring this, I add them to a thread and I call it my Success Club hostages, right? And I put them in this thread and I pretend like I'm the officer, right? And I know it kind of sounds silly, but everybody loves it and it's fun. And I'm like, you cannot get out of this thread until you hit Success Club. So what happens is I keep adding people in and taking people out and adding people in. As they hit Success Club, they come out. And then those that come out, they get a little something from me, an incentive, a mug, a hat, I mean, whatever it is. But it has really, really worked well because as they are in the thread, they're giving each other tips. I'm posting motivational stuff. I'm sharing some scripts. I'm doing some funny things. Like I threaten them, I'm going to start posting scary clown pictures or just doing fun stuff to make it fun for them to hit Success Club. And of course, in that process, I'm mentoring them. Now, the same thing goes for who are your key diamonds. Who are the coaches that you need to hit diamond? These are the ones that at this point, it's one-on-one mentorship. This is not a time to group people together. It's a time to, we can do calls together. But when you're mentoring the coaches you need to hit diamond, this is one-on-one. You're talking to them every single day. You're strategizing. You're sharing your input. And you're setting, I just spit on myself. You're setting specific goals for them to accomplish their goal of hitting diamond. And please, please, please remember that you have a 6-week qualification after everybody is in place to achieve 5-star and above, that they understand that they need to keep recruiting after they hit diamond. They cannot stall out in the 6 weeks, especially during the holidays. The more upfront you are, the more honest you are about rank and all that stuff. Because I remember when I first started getting coaches to diamond, I would like be quiet about the qualification period, right? Because I was nervous. I didn't want to make them nervous. And what would happen, it would fall apart, and then we'd have to rebuild it. And then be honest about this, so that when they hit diamond and then they pop a diamond, they understand that, oh crap, I need to hold this all together. So be forthcoming with the qualification period and start those one-on-one communications. Okay, that was number 3. Becky, number 4, tracking.
Okay, guys, so don't be scared. I like Excel spreadsheets and numbers and all that stuff. I like to track everything. But it's important as a CEO that you know exactly where you stand numbers wise and what you need in order to hit this goal. So I've been doing this spreadsheet for like the last 4 years. It's really elaborate. I'm probably the only one that understands it, but I track every single month exactly what happens with my points. I set goals for the following month. I have projections for ATV, which is the hardest category to actually wrap my head around. But I'll tell you a story. Earlier this year, at the beginning of the year, I started to freak out. In January, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to happen. The ATV, how am I going to ever get there? And then it just hit me. It's only 130,000 PV more than the last year, because it's 13 points minimum. And I calmed down, I ran some numbers, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna happen. It's okay. It'll be fine. Just because I knew and I had the foresight to sit down and project the entire year based on what happened last year, raising some numbers, I knew that it was gonna be possible. So I'm not asking you to be an Excel spreadsheet lover, but you need to be knowledgeable about what's going on in your business. It cannot be just throwing spaghetti at the wall and just pray and hope that something's gonna stick. I've run numbers for a few coaches that needed to really wrap their head around the ATV, and it shows you that at the end of the day, it's gonna happen, or if it's not gonna happen, you're gonna need that multiplier. It sets the tone. Now you have direction. Now you have a way to make things happen. The same with the Success Club points. You know what you need as far as the numbers. If you know you're lacking in some areas, start reverse engineering. Figure out how many coaches that you need to hit Success Club in 1 month. With you hitting, you know it doubles. But you need to sit down and evaluate these numbers. You can't just like stare at the page and try to like, oh my God, I hope that, you know, at some point things will just fall into place. Educate yourself. If not, find somebody that knows how to do it and let them run the numbers for you. But don't be blindsided in December because you haven't sat down and physically looked at these numbers and realized that maybe you are that close and you didn't even realize it because you didn't take the time to break down your numbers and figure out the few maybe extra steps that you could have done right now to help you hit elite this year. Hold on now. Other things that you could do as far as tracking that I do as part of my spreadsheet, I do track all my new coaches on another worksheet that's tied to the main one. And I track all the people and their points and how they're doing. If you're properly onboarding your coaches and helping them hit Success Club, it'll help you raise those numbers. I believe that the whole elite program is a function of leadership and it's a function of Success Club. It all ties back to Success Club. If your coaches are producing, it's gonna affect all the categories. So focus on really onboarding your coaches properly, loving on them, believing in them, and telling them so, and helping them to get these numbers every single month. The more you do that, the easier it's going to become. And don't stop recruiting right now. We're going to say that like 20 more times. The people that you bring in right now are going to set the stage for next year. So do not halt in that activity. You should be just hitting it harder right now. That is like a critical activity right now. If you are lacking in the Success Club point category, bring in new people that want to work. Look in your challenge groups for people who are rock star challengers. Convert them, help them see the light, bring them in and teach them how to hit Success Club.
Absolutely. So I'm like the opposite of my sister, and I don't track anything. I'm just like, I'm the spaghetti on the wall kind of person. As long as I just follow my sister, I'm like, whatever she's doing, I'm doing. Whatever she's doing, I'm doing. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good. But I'm not saying that's the right way to be. One thing I do try to be is always try to beat myself, right? So last year, if I had, 3 or 4 coaches in Success Club, then this year I want 5, 6, 7 plus coaches in Success Club, right? But I know exactly what it takes. I know from the beginning of the year how many coaches I need each month to hit Success Club, and we just take it from there. Recruiting is always, a big topic. And I'm not saying recruiting in numbers, I'm saying recruiting in quality, right? I fell into the trap at the beginning of the year where I said, you guys, the key to elite is the more you recruit, the better your chances. I fell into that trap, and I actually set a goal, and I told our leaders on our team to set a goal of recruiting 60 coaches by summit. I don't know, Becky, if you remember that. And that actually was the beginning of this year was not as strong as the second half of the year for me. And it's because I was going for quantity instead of quality. And now when I shift gears to quality and really mentoring my coaches and really focusing them and getting on the phone with them and talking to them and getting them to understand the business and what it takes to be successful, my numbers have improved drastically in the second half of the year. So make sure that you're really, really focusing on who's coming into your business and then getting them to produce. I know some of you are going to roll your eyes and say, well, I don't know how to do that. It starts as basic as getting on the phone with them and talking to them. Remember that when you became a coach, you had no idea what you're doing. Something in you, whether it was a conversation with your sponsor, on the phone or a Zoom or whatever, got you moving in the right direction. Go back to that place where you knew nothing and mentor them from that spot. And it might take a little bit longer for some, but you have to do what you have to do. All right, let's talk about number 5, which is the ATV category and how to boost that. And like Becky said, this is the hardest one to project because, well, for newer coaches meaning this is your first run at elite. Maybe your start date was in around 2014, late 2014, early 2015. This is like the easiest category for you because if you're recruiting and your coaches are starting to produce, ATV is going to come up quick for you, right? And that's awesome. Every 10,000 team volume points in your downline in your first 3 levels gives you 1 elite point. Some of you're like, in the bag. Well, as the years go by, this is the category that gets increasingly more difficult to surpass. For instance, just Becky and I with between 3 and 5 million in ATV that we have to surpass for this year. It means that Diesel Nation as a whole has to continuously be productive and surpass what we did in years prior. So it does become like this mountain, but if you just focus on the activities, hitting Success Club, more coaches in the downline, and duplicate, it is the category of points that almost happens organically. But there are ways to kind of boost your ATV with certain things. Clearly, the Team Cup is always going to be something that boosts, but we just had that. So I'm not going to talk about that unless we have something coming in November. I'm not sure. Last year we did. We had the fall classic, I think it was called. It was a 2-team thing.
Team Spirit is coming in November.
Okay, there we go. Yay! Team Spirit is coming in November. So that is where you literally, as the leader of your team, is manually grabbing people and going, here you go, here you go, here you go. You're going to participate, you're going to participate, you're going to participate, because that is what's going to get team volume moving in the positive direction in November. Then we have, or before that, we have the launch of Core de Force. So what you're doing right now is announcing and promoting Core de Force like a mother, and you're also going to make sure your team, your PS team, your downline is doing a Core de Force challenge group as a team. You're going to be hosting your own challenge groups, but as a team, everybody is going to do Core de force. And then what I would do to boost some ATV right after Thanksgiving is a team 3-day refresh, right? Everybody has to purchase their refresh. That's going to give you a boost in volume. These are the things that, as someone that needs to get their ATV moving and moving quicker, is what I would be thinking of, right? How do we do that? Beachbody on Demand. You know, this is something that we've got to get better at harnessing, at promoting, at giving value to our challengers so that they stay on it. You guys, I think the writing is on the wall that Beachbody on Demand is where we're headed, right? Pretty soon, the DVDs are going to be obsolete. We are headed towards complete digital of our fitness programs. And so make it your job, your job, to get your customers in tune with Beachbody on Demand. In your challenge groups, challenge them to try new workouts, to do the sneak peeks, to do all of those things and keep them on. Because while right now you might be thinking, because I fell into the trap of thinking, Beachbody just steals volume from me. Beachbody on Demand, not Beachbody. Beachbody on Demand steals volume from me because the physical products aren't being sent out, giving me ATV. Long term, it is benefiting us. Okay, keep that in mind. Think long term, think big picture. So just get better at Beachbody on Demand. Okay? Yes? All right, so that's the ATV. That's category number 5. And now, Becky, you're going to talk about more stuff.
All right, guys, this is an important one, and we're already running out of time. But, okay, recruiting, more recruiting, and rank advancements. How many of you are on the cusp of 2-star, 5-star, and you're really working your tail off to make that happen? So I'm sure there's a bunch of you. Guys, you need to be intentional with this goal. Do not fall into the trap of sitting back and saying, geez, I hope that this person advances to diamond. Geez, I hope that they develop another emerald. No, screw that. Forget hoping, forget wishing, forget trying. Go in there and push it along. Get in the trenches with your people, with their coaches, with their advancing emeralds, and help them advance. One of the things that I did when I was running for 15 star, I got in there with one of my potential diamonds, my 15th diamond, and I helped her advance 3 emeralds by hosting opportunity calls whenever I needed to. I challenged them to invite people to business opportunity calls, to sneak peeks. I challenged them to bring them. Since these are newer coaches, and even that diamond was pretty new too to talking about the business, I asked her, bring me the people and I will close them for you. You need to do that. You guys are emerging leaders in Team Beachbody. You need to take the bull by the horns right now and help these people make it happen. Do not wait until the 25th hour to then start praying that someone is going to advance their business or build some more emeralds. The key here is to build lots and lots of emeralds so that your business is stable and that you will not drop during that 6 weeks qualification period. So I'm asking you to just take a different stance on this and get creative and find ways where you can talk to these prospects, where you can convert them and make them see how great this business is. You guys have been here longer and have more experience. And in turn, you're teaching these new emeralds and these advancing diamonds how to do business opportunity calls and how to speak about the business opportunity. It's so important. So just be more intentional. Now is the moment to shine. You got to do it now.
I'm just going to say one thing and then we'll go to questions on Becky's point about being intentional. Just recently, my 4th business center got to diamond. And I really, really, really honed in on what did I do to make it happen. Instead of just kind of hustling to get it done, what did I do to get these? Because at this point, I have no more family members, right? I have no more. Becky has some, I have some. My 4th business center, these are true Beachbody coaches, right? And let's be honest, this is what we talk about. We've got to be honest. Every single emerald in my 4th business center, I got on the phone with. Every single one I talked to personally. And I mentored them and I followed up with them and I got them on the call. And we talked about their why and their goals. And I told them why it's important to go emerald. I got them to Success Club before they went emerald so that they could understand the value of the lead program, like one-on-one mentorship. So when you're looking at your team, even if they are not in your PS team, but you need them to advance, set up a 3-way call with their sponsor. Set up a call with them. Talk to them. Say, I'm here to help you. What is it that's holding you back? How can we work through that? You've got, at this point, you have to be intentional. And I know it's going to take you getting out of your comfort zone, but don't wait, right? A lot of coaches will step out of their comfort zone on December 24th when they have 6 days to make it happen, or 7 days to make it happen. How about we suck it up, Buttercup, right now and start this process ASAP, right? With the people that you need to get to Diamond, or the coaches you need to get to Emerald, so that this all comes together sooner rather than later. Remember, the new rule for December is you have to be a paid 5-star 1 week in December, okay? Instead of on the 31st, right? So your diamonds, your two new diamonds, and your 5-star rank have to be in place 1 week out of the month of December, right? Already start thinking about that and planning how that's going to happen. Okay, so questions?
All right, don't be shy. This is your moment to get exactly, I mean, they gave us the goods, but to get exactly. Okay, Lindsay, go ahead and unmute yourself and feel free to talk.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
I actually just found out today that there were some mistakes with my rank. And so I am already 5-star, which I thought I wasn't quite there yet. So I'm excited. But one thing that I've been trying to do more of is expanding my network through my like page. And I've been playing around a lot with like the audience, the target audience. I'm a mom and a teacher and a runner, and like I've been trying to focus on those things because, you know, we have like our avatar that we speak to whenever we're doing, you know, we're talking to people. But I've recently started playing around more with it, like putting really silly things like yoga pants and top knots and things like that. And I feel like I'm getting more interaction and engagement with my sponsored posts that way. But I'm wondering if there's some advice you can give, or some like way to track what works and what doesn't work with our sponsored posts on Facebook, because I really don't know why I'm successful some days and why other months I'm not successful at all.
I'm going to take this one. I think I can answer for Becky and I. We're not into Facebook like pages. I think Gary Vaynerchuk would like stab us in the eye if he heard us. So I don't think we're qualified to answer that question.
Okay.
So just being honest, I'm not going to tell you something like, make you, because it's, my right now, Becky and I, our big focus is on Instagram. And that's where we're attracting all of our people. And so I don't want to, you know, give you any advice that's not going to be helpful. I'm sure there's other coaches like Megan Ewaldson, those kinds that are constantly doing ads that would be better equipped to answer your question. But
okay.
Congratulations, you're a rock star. That's amazing.
Congrats. Sorry. Yeah. Facebook is so weird sometimes. I've heard that sometimes the worst picture gets like the most attention. Like it's like, I don't know if there's a science behind it. I'm not sure, honestly.
Are you guys using Instagram stories? Is that what's really working for you on Instagram?
Say it again.
What?
Instagram stories. Is that what you're using that's really working, or just your posts? Are you sponsoring posts on there, or?
My posts, I just go hard with the hashtags, and I've been since last year, been very intentional. I have like a sequence of the way that I post, and, you know, it's just all intentional. The way I do it, how I distribute my posts, my hashtags are intentional. It's just worked. It's worked. And I'm using the stories, but it's more the posts, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Similar to me, I do like funny black and white images. Betsy, I think you said you wanted to steal something today. You can have it. Yes. Okay. With a funny, and then right before I do a call to action challenge group, I'll do my big transformation post, and then I'll do the call to action with all the hashtags and everything. That's all there. Like that, you could see how Becky and I do our Instagram, but literally our businesses have shifted from almost 100% Facebook to almost 100% Instagram within the last year.
Okay.
It's been pretty crazy, but that just goes to show, I think, you guys, everyone on this call, that you have to be adjustable. You have to go with the flow. You have to figure out what's working and what's not. For a long time, Becky resisted Instagram. And she was like, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. I'm like, Becky, you gotta do it, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. Then she got in it, now she loves it, and she's killing it on Instagram. So, you know, consistency goes a long way as well on Instagram. You gotta be patient. But I love it. I do love it. But if you're good at the Facebook ads, man, everybody heard Gary Vaynerchuk talk about how important it was. And I agree, it is.
Speaking of that, we just got a question. Gary also mentioned Instagram influencers at Summit. Betsy just asked if you two are doing any of the paid Instagram influencers.
I'm not, and the reason why is because it's tied to my Facebook like page. So I haven't tinkered with sponsored ads on Instagram, because it's the way that when I put it as a business on when I put my account as a business on Instagram, it's linked to my Facebook like page. And since I'm not really working my Facebook like page, it doesn't make sense right now. I haven't taken the time to really hone in on that, but it is something that I've got to do, because I'm like the worst. I don't know about you guys, but every time I see a sponsored ad on Instagram, I buy something. Like whether it's Wonder Brow or the new face cream or I'm like, buy. So clearly the sponsored ads are super important. So yeah, it's somewhere where, you know, you just got to put the time in to learn. You just got to put it in.
Any other questions, guys, for Becky or Kristina while we're still here? Brian, I think I saw your hand. Feel free to unmute yourself.
Hi. Yeah. Loved it. Loved it when you did the same thing last year.
And congrats on the roll.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And last year I was just trying to creep into that 5-star range, and I made it into the 5-star range, but we missed the lead on points. And this year we pushed so far past 5-star, and everything seems to be like all the diamond coaches seem to be losing the vision. And they're becoming hard to say, and right. So we created new diamonds this year, but I don't want.
Brian, we can't hear you very well.
Yeah, we lost your volume a little bit.
Are you losing? Can you hear me better?
No.
Yeah.
Really low.
I'll type it. I'll just type it.
We can hear you now.
No, go.
Okay. So we've done well on creating new diamonds this year, but I would hate to see all the people that came into this business 2.5 years ago, slowly go away. So is there anything that we can do to keep these people engaged and reinvigorated or I don't want them to leave?
Well, can I answer that? Because last year, 2015 started out really tough for me, and a lot of my original diamonds started to go away, and I really resisted that. Like, I didn't understand why this was happening. And I watched a video from Eric Worre, and he says this business is all about continuing to build. Some people are not going to be here for a long time, and you just have to accept that some people will come, they'll stay, and they're going to go. And that's why you got to continue bringing in new people and keep building new diamonds. Unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast. I've experienced this. I mean, last year was bad, but I still see it here and there, and it's sad because you invest so much time and love in these people, and then they just go. But you're gonna have to accept it and I think redirect your energy to new people who deserve your attention instead of trying to build up people who've already lost the vision.
Yeah, I've seen so many coaches get stalled in their own progress.
Yeah.
Because you're waiting on a miracle for someone that perhaps one time had the vision, lost the vision. You think they can get it back. And I'll tell you that some do. You know, like that, you can't shut the door on all these people, on all these coaches, because there are going to be coaches that, shut down, and then they surprise you and they come back stronger than ever. Obviously reminding them of their why. And if you know that, just, doing those kinds of calls. But long term, it is just the unfortunate reality of this business it's the unfortunate reality of any business, right? You hire a server to serve at your restaurant and she's phenomenal and she gets people in, and then one day, guess what happens? She gets a better job at another restaurant with higher pay and she goes to the other job. I mean, literally, it's that kind of that same analogy. People will come and go. Even though we know us on this call, this is the best business ever, right? We're here to stay. We're lifers. There's going to be people that come into your business that don't have that same mentality, that same work ethic, and you just got to keep searching for more Brians and more Tushas, and you know what I'm saying? Like more use, and that's what you have to do.
Oh, good answer. Okay, so our last question is coming from Erin Whalen, and she wants to know, do you still seek out challengers and coaches, or do they mostly come to you because of your attraction marketing?
Becky, I guess I'll take that one. Both. It's both. I do have people that come to me, and I think that's what's really cool about this business. Like, the longer you're in and the more you leverage your leadership, I'm not ashamed that I am a Beachbody leader, and I talk about my leadership and that our team is amazing and that we hit goals and that we have accomplished all these things. And with that and that confidence, I do attract coaches into my business that have heard of me, have found me on Instagram, or have found me on Facebook. So that does happen. And what's awesome is that if you start doing the same, you're going to have those same results too. But I do, especially through Instagram, I will look for people that are lawyers because I am one, and I have a team that has a bunch of successful lawyers on it. So I will literally search for, fit lawyer mom, all those kinds of hashtags, and just start liking and commenting on those posts in the hopes that they start engaging with me, or I'll message them and just say, what kind of law do you practice? Or, I saw you do, exercise too. What do you do? And so it's both for me.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you guys so much. It's 7:45 my time, 9:45. So I know that there's one last question. Becky, Kristina, let's see. It's from Lindsay Gaines. We'll take this one last question. I want to make sure that we give them the rest of their evening back. What do you think about incorporating personal posts into Instagram? I feel like we are in the business of relationships, so I include them, but wondering if that is misleading.
No, if you look at my Instagram, it's my kids are in there. Today I did a little boomerang of them doing the dab, and it's real life stuff. Like, it's real life, my dog and me working out, a lot of fitness and food, but it's real life. We're selling us, it's not this picture of this facade of this person. I believe in being real. I don't like all that fake stuff. So I do incorporate my life and my relationships, and I'm very vulnerable of the things that I've overcome, and I share them in hopes that I'll inspire somebody to change. Yes, I believe that you should be you, and you should share your life, not too much drama, but you should incorporate your personal life into this business. Absolutely. Yeah. That's the only way you're going to inspire people that are like you, is by being real and true to who you are. I put funny things. Some had bad words. I cuss like a sailor. I'm not afraid to say that. I say shit all the time, and if people don't like it, then they can find a different coach.
I'm the same. I've realized that the more real I am with who I am, the better I'm getting at attracting coaches like me. Like, I call my team the fit-ish crew. Becky has the real fit crew. I'm the fit-ish, the ones that sneak the burritos after their 22 hardcore workout. But that's what's me, and that's what I love. Wine, I love margaritas, and I've incorporated who I am. And in the last year that I, especially on Instagram, have done that, the people have been top quality. Because I feel like I'm finally not finally, I have a team of rock stars, but I'm attracting people more like me when I do that, right? So always be 100% true. Don't be afraid to offend. I mean, I'm not saying everyone's offensive, but I can be at times. And that, that will weed out people that just aren't supposed to be on your team, right? You want people that are going to jive with you and meld with you. So.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, ladies. Diesel Nation sisters, Lemonade sisters, Kristina Delgado, Becky Brossett. Thank you for spending your evening with us. Y'all, I told you they were going to give us the goods. There were so many golden nuggets of information, of inspiration in there. You are definitely going to want to make sure you archive this. We'll post it again in the Elite and Premier Contenders page, and then we'll funnel it through the rest of the Facebook pages that we have for our region. Mark your calendar for next Tuesday. Our guest speaker is going to be Becca Robinson. And remember to step on the gas, not away from the gas, and make this next 3 months your best 3 months of 2017. The worst that can happen is that you're building momentum to have a fantastic January. Thank you again, ladies, and for everyone for joining on. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Keisha. Have a great night.
You too. Bye. Thanks.
Chips.
Because this girl, like, who I had to send the thing.
Just